Hello! And welcome to Dangerous Cults and Where to Find Them, Episode 7, Clues. So you might have a bit of a clue about what is going to happen today. Ha 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 ha, that was so dry. I feel the pain myself. We have a guest player today. Roro, some of you may know Roro from the chat as the conductor or Luther Jam. And she's gonna be doing a little guesting today. And yeah. Let's hydrate, everyone. Cheers!
Hydrate because you're so damn dry. You monster.
Oh. I'm sorry. Let's see. Yes. So, quick recap for those who may or may not have seen this show before.
That's what I forgot.
Our four investigators have set out on a bit of investigation, you could say, after their friend Jackson Elias was brutally murdered by some cultists. They've been thrown into this whole mess of loose ties, one can say.
Oh, you're gonna go with like that? Because I would have gone with like this whole mess of corruption, more corruption, meta corruption, cosmic horror,
You're quite done.
And Southern Bells, who are like
yes, also Southern Bells.
Tip your waiter. That's all I can say.
True.
Waitress.
So, we left it off. Last time, I believe, with some research and an invitation. And a lot of unresolved conversations. So to set the scene, we are at the Grand Hotel in New York, 1925. And yeah, I believe we just lost Teddy. So give us a moment.
Yeah. You disappeared.
My Twitch is complaining about low latency mode. Is it calling me dumb?
I don't know.
Alright.
On again.
Yeah.
Just when we fixed the iPad problem, in comes... yeah, the other one. It's calling you slow. Would a spray bottle work? It's like, psh, psh, shut up.
TikTok.
I mean, who even knows?
Oh, that's interesting.
Mute.
Hey, Ren.
Yes.
How much download speed are we paying for?
500?
Yeah, we're currently getting 134.
Yeah, someone's gonna call the internet company later.
It's Get, by the way.
No, it's Telia.
It's Telia.
He's back! Sergeant Cooper is back!
From the war.
I have to be super mean, but I can't see him, so I need to like go in and out. I'm so sorry.
Either.
Give me a...
Wait, maybe that's what he does look like.
Okay, I can see Teddy now.
This is clearly, the episode should clearly have been called Musical Chairs.
Shades, places.
Right, with that out of the way, excellent. Yes, we are at the Grand Hotel in New York. The year is 1925. It is in January, I believe.
Which room is it?
Misplaced my calendar somewhere.
Was it room 101? Can we say it's 101?
That's first floor.
That's first floor, so I rather doubt it.
On Wednesday the 21st, you are having your shenanigans with chandelier. So I don't.
Yeah, so it's
Given that Archie needed to have a
probably...
day
Shenanigans.
Ah,
It's probably Thursday at least.
hang on. Shenanigans with the chandelier or a clusterfuck with the candelabra? I got more.
Oh my goodness. And you're giving
None of them are
me
good.
a hard time. You're giving
Good
me a
scenario.
hard time for my dad jokes. This is not on, Rick. It is not on.
I get on your case and Hulda gets on mine. This is how it works.
Just switch characters for an episode. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh,
Yeah.
I wanna play Teddy's character.
No.
Oh.
But Teddy can be Archie.
Yeah. No, it would clearly have to be the siblings would have to switch. Let's face it. Oh, the fear in Hulda's eyes. No.
That's divorce in 1, 2, 3.
This is why I drink. The thought of that is the reason I drink.
Why does Aisling drink? Yes, it starts with an R and ends with a G.
Are we going to do a Cards Against Cthulhu? Because that would be totally...
Apparently so. Anyway, so I think is it in Peggy's hotel room or is it in Archie's room? Rick, that we will
Peggy's.
start the scene.
Peggy's. No, Archie's. I
Archie's.
see where you're going.
And I believe Peggy has been helping him, because I think she was when we left it off last time. She had been helping him a little after his.
Yes. So,
Yes.
in his room, in his bedroom, which is pretty well lit. It's a hotel room, so it always has
More lit than Peggy's, but yes.
probably because he wasn't allowed to sleep, was he?
And he has the chandelier.
Why? What? I have an intact chandelier, which obviously I think you guys should roll to see if you have a phobia of chandeliers from now on.
You're not the game master.
I'm just saying I think you should. IMO. Anyway, so on the bed with probably the finest of Persian silks or Caribbean cottons or other things which rhyme, in this tumble bundle of cloth and fibre is a burrito Archie. If you will, a barachi.
Or an Archie burrito instead of Burnell.
You said you wouldn't do that.
Boy.
So you can imagine he's basically just humped up against the wall with the duvet wrapped around his little head, so he looks like if a nun went to practice her faith in the Arctic. Right?
We have a hydrate redeemed.
Ah, right. This is going to help me hydrate. Sure, cheap rayon. Bedecked with the finest, most expensive cubic zirconians. And, yeah. Nearby are bowls of chicken soup. Archie is depleted. And, very submissive. Not in a kinky way, just really deflated. Now, I do believe Peggy's there, or walks in. Or materializes.
Probably they're sitting there with a book, actually. A fairy tale book.
Oh God, you're reading to him?
No.
Like,
She's reading for herself.
that's so selfish.
I think they're... We'll just have a talk first. Oh, wait, sorry, I just lost something. Yeah, so Archie is absolutely useless, and Peggy's reading a book.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He leans forward in his little worm of duvet Peggy,
Yes, Archie?
what are you reading?
Okay, I remember the book, but was it The Brothers Grimm?
I think
Oh.
so. Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
the original German version? Because at which point it should be Sie Brothers Grimm!
No.
No, okay.
Peggy can't read German, so no. But, just a collection of fairy tales. Spooky fairy tales.
So, I owe you an apology, I guess.
You guess.
I mean, it could be, but then, if you think,
You're very eloquent, aren't you?
I'm trying my best here, okay? I don't tend to accept, what's the word? Responsive something.
Mm-hmm.
Ability. That's the one. And I would like to accept my role in yesterday's shenanigans with the... He points up at the big thing with the...
But, dear Archie, so I understand you're locking yourself in my room, going through my private things,
It's more like a barricade, and to be fair...
and finding my gun under the pillow,
Oh, yeah.
shooting down the chandelier,
I was
getting
not...
horribly hurt
I was
for
merely...
shenanigans.
There was a... You know, although I have a few points to make about all of those accusations, I am going to be magnanimous and say nothing, because that's not why I'm here.
In the bed as a burrito.
Feeling very sorry for yourself
Archie.
after trashing my room.
Yes, I didn't exactly know what I was doing.
No.
Sure.
I genuinely thought you were trying to kill me with the chandelier. I mean, at that point, I would want to kill me. It's just your choice of weapon was a bit gravity dependent. Who'd have thought there'd be so much glass?
It was your gun, or my gun that you had loaded, that went off. So technically it was you. I did nothing.
Oh yes, I do believe I was trying to kill myself.
Well, it looked like you were doing a very good job of that.
I'm fairly
In
certain.
my room,
I
with my letters
can
that I hadn't given to you.
I can sense you're a bit upset, and that you're well within your right to be. So don't feel guilty about that. But so the letters that were addressed to me,
Yes,
which I read because they were addressed to me.
yes, they were yours. They were
Can't-
just in my personal things.
So you
But
just-
yes,
You can't be mad at me about
they were
that.
technically they were yours.
Yes, which I assume I didn't get because I was
Fallen off the face of the earth.
there we
Yes.
go. Yes, that was why.
I think you got that from the letters if you actually read them, yes?
I read them
Mm-hmm.
twice.
Twice.
I'm sorry about that, and I'm sorry about your husband. He was all right. He was sounded like a pretty all right person.
You don't believe anymore that I killed him.
No, I don't. Not at all.
Good.
unless you were really... No, I don't. I don't believe that. I had something crawl inside my head and make a mess. And things were a little... It wasn't cricket for a while there. And those letters didn't really help. But, in retrospect, you are the most remarkable woman I have ever met in my life. And despite my attempts, it has not been a short life so far. I wish I'd received those letters, and I wish I had written back. I wish I had felt like I had something to offer. I suppose what I'm trying to say is that it seems a bit silly now, really, a bit late, but Peggy, I think I...
There's a knock on the door.
Oh heavens! Someone's at the door. It's just could you get that? I think I'm stuck.
Yeah, you've made a very fine burrito. I'll
Lisa!
I'll answer the door.
Lisa!
Yes, it's Lisa.
Free me.
Terribly sorry to interrupt, ma'am.
Ma'am?
There's a lady to see Mr. Bennell.
Oh, she's here. Lisa! Unravel me at once!
Pardon me, sir. I
Lisa,
am
you
not
don't have-
your maid, and you make quite the dickens of a row of it yesterday. I will be leaving you with your lady guest and make tea.
That's
She
very
turns.
lovely. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Since when?
Yes, Archie, you can get out of that yourself.
I bloody...
She turns and walks out in a huff.
Of all the nerve! Peggy, unravel me! Unwrap me! Free me!
You got yourself in that vest, you can get yourself out, or I can get Sergeant Cooper and he can cut you out.
Oh no. No. Not giving him another chance. I am, however, going to roll to see if I can get out of it.
In case Room Cooper goes,
I
I think someone mentioned.
My ears are burning. I got my machete, mate. What do you need help with?
Simply, I'm holding my knife for some reason.
Yeah. Archie falls on the floor, on his face. Nobody comes to the rescue for now.
I was gonna say Peggy takes pity on the idiot.
Which one?
So you get at least decent?
It's all relative, really. Decent to whose standards?
I'm guessing Peggy's.
Ha!
Oh, then you have to put the suit on and everything.
Oh, no, I suppose not.
No, I think
Wrong person to compare.
Archie's gonna borrow some of Peggy's pajamas.
He's in his own room.
Yes. And your point?
How does
Yes,
he get...
you can borrow some. Peggy takes such pity on the idiot that she gets.
Pajamas.
Oh,
No, not Italian.
do you lend him, like, your silk kimono or something? The cheap
Yes.
one.
The railing cotton one. Thank you very much for that. Leah.
Cheap is relative, but yes,
Still silk.
that's what he gets. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like Frodo in the Spider's Den in Return of the King.
Oh, it's pretty handy we killed that spider, Mr. Frodo. Look at all this silk we could sell when we get home. I know. They never think to loot the body, do they, Sam? They don't. No, they don't. Jesus.
So, after a little while, there's another knock, and a A woman stands outside. Roro, would you care to describe your character?
The side of the doorway, almost just trying to be unobtrusive, but also fairly bemused by what's going on. Is quite a short lady. She's wearing quite dark, sort of typical day wear, you know, the long, straight kind of clothes. It's clear that it's decent quality, but that it's been worn for quite a long time, and it's not. Peggy, if still there, would quickly observe that this is not the height of fashion. This is quite. It's not like ancient, but it's like a few years out of date. She's got short, slightly curly hair, and has made an attempt at doing sort of typical makeup of the day, daytime makeup rather than the full smoky eye. She is holding a black suitcase at her side. Just looks very business-like almost, and she's just narrowing her eyes at Archie and then looking kind of between the two of them.
Just a moment. I think we're picking up some background noise from Teddy and Ivy.
Probably us. Just give us.
This is where they turn around and say something like, "Hard shaft!" Which
were saying.
is incidentally very similar to the Scottish version. Hard East.
So,
So,
Archie.
Is it just Archie, or is Peggy still there?
I'm assuming that Peggy is
Peggy's still there.
you meet Peggy.
Where and Archie? Oh. I meet Peggy first, do I?
Mm-hmm.
You've been brought in by Lisa, by the way, so she's kind of lingering behind because she's sorting out a tea tray.
Lingering. Like a cultist.
Tifa? Philip over there asked me to come.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
You dropped
That
it.
Philip over there asked me to come.
Yes. Welcome, Miss
Door.
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 Isidore. Welcome. Yes, the idiot is in here.
Yeah, I think he's gonna enter with part of the duvet sheet wrapped around his foot, so he's hopping up and down as he comes in. Iffy! Good Lord, it's good to see you. How are you?
What the fuck are you wearing?
It's the latest in French fashion. Hello, get cultural. Peasant.
Hearing him speak, she kind of pulls back, but doesn't say anything. Just like, I have to say, I'm certainly not in the latest fashion. I mean, feel a bit out of place in this fancy, swanky place.
Oh, don't worry about that. You will get used to it. Sadly.
I will.
So, yes, sorry.
You're
Um,
expecting me to hang around, are you?
Yes, of course. I brought you here for a reason. Iffy, this is my associate, the investigator I spoke of, Peggy Andrews. Peggy, this is a very old friend of mine, Iffy, and despite what you might think, she's most certainly not a miss. That sounded funnier in my head. Anyway, I've given her the information that we have accrued so far, because if he's rather good at putting dots together and also sorting my taxes, among other things. I get the others. Yeah.
So a woman of many skills. And did you talk to any one of us about this, or did you just hand over evidence and notes to someone we didn't know? I'm sorry, Mr. or Mrs. Then, since it's not Miss.
Just iffy. And
Iffy.
as he's about to leave the door, like 1 foot out, suspended, and to answer your question, and then leaves.
Sorry. He just sent me some scribbled out copies of what I assume were newspaper reports.
Yes. Okay,
couple of
so
letters.
nothing more. It's wonderful that he has someone he can trust with these things. It was just a little bit of a shock. He doesn't talk about anyone, and then suddenly you're here with lots of info that we've gathered. But welcome. Do you want some tea?
Lisa comes in with the tea.
Ah,
Anything off the
Sure,
trolley,
thanks.
dears?
Really?
No. But she does come in with a little trolley with tea and pause and asks, should I alert the others and set up the lounge?
Cooper!
yes, please, if you would be.
All right.
So, darling. Yes, please. And some sandwiches.
And some sandwiches. All right, ma'am. She leaves.
In answer to Peggy's question about Miss or Mrs., she's like, this is fine. I wear a ring because I don't like people trying to flirt with me.
Quite understandable.
Getting on with my age and my accent, everyone wonders why the hell I wasn't married 10 years ago.
Ah,
Not for me.
I see.
So, I do believe Archie has roused Cooper. I think, is Ashley in the vicinity, or has she gone back to her coffin?
Question well asked. Has Aisling been spending time doing some research, or has she been getting a good night's sleep for once?
She's got a crazy
I think she's been getting a good night's sleep, to be honest.
Yeah.
With all of the, I mean, she's been traveling a lot, and with all the things that happened last time, she's like, I need to just pretend that no one exists. Just a moment. Just close my eyes and just sleep.
Yeah.
Hashtag relatable.
And just hope that when I wake up, none of this is real.
You wake up and it's all real. But you have had a good night's sleep at the very least.
No, it is. She hasn't, because she wakes up and it's all real. No. She just wakes up just like groggy and just pulls the covers over her face like, oh.
With
I
a
hope
little...
no one disturbs me today. As she mostly, yeah, exactly. Who is it?
Miss Burnell, it's
Yes?
Lisa. There's there's gonna be a bit of a meeting apparently, and I'm setting up sandwiches and tea in the lounge. So if you would care to join us, please.
Thank you, Lisa. I'll be right down. You-
Quick
Yep.
question. Has anyone seen Black Books?
Mhm.
I just wondered if
Yeah.
Aisling wakes up like that whole, I woke up with a slight hangover. Ah!
Yeah. Just it's
Am I
a lot.
dead?
Um
Have I joined a cult?
and,
Hopefully not.
pretty much.
And
Yeah, she just like and puts on something quite modest, doesn't even do her hair. When she thinks of eating, it's just like the core people. So her hair's still like kind of messy as she just puts on a shirt and just a skirt. Even kind of has like her bath, like a robe just over her shoulders just in case she like
Can
needs to-
retreat.
yeah, can retreat easily. Yeah, she goes out and goes towards wherever this meeting is going to be.
Yeah. So basically, Peggy has rented the entire floor of the Grand, which consists of a whole bunch of suites, some of them connected with doors. There is a lounge part of Peggy's suite, which has room for all of you to sit comfortably. And that's where the meeting is taking place. Lisa has managed to get sandwiches up from the kitchen. We're getting some feedback from Teddy and Ivy again, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
More importantly,
what?
when Cooper is woken up by Archie, what state of play is he in? Is he already doing press-ups in the morning with, like, a well-oiled chest?
Restless once again.
What? People
No,
have a right to know.
he's in the bathroom. He's redressing the wound and trimming, preparing his moustache.
Repairing his moustache?
No,
Takes a lot
getting
of
the
work.
curls in.
Don't ruin this
Oh,
for
yeah.
me.
Prepping.
Just imagining with a welding gun.
Waxing, combing, you know the lot.
Brilliant. Oh, with his knife! He's trimming it with his knife, like...
No.
Oh,
Yes, shaving with a,
Yeah.
with a large hunting knife.
Machete.
it's a Bowie knife.
It's a boot knife.
So, you heard a lot of
He
ruckus.
doesn't use a knife for shaving, he uses his gun for shaving.
Automatic fire. Bang, bang,
And
bang, bang.
people wonder how things like the last episode happened.
Well, yeah, shooting guns. So Archie opens the door. He doesn't knock. Comes in and just stops at this seat, and maybe drooling. Huh? Cooper.
Yes.
Right. And then leaves.
Meeting at Peggy's then.
Clearly.
And he follows. So Cooper and Peggy are, and Effie is the only people who's decently dressed.
Yep.
Clearly.
I mean, come on. Aisling isn't bad. She's just casual. She doesn't know there's someone else
Yeah.
there.
Very casual.
Like, there was no forewarning that we had a guest. As she goes to Peggy's room, doesn't even see her as she just like zombie like just takes a sandwich. Wait, let me do this properly. Takes a sandwich, put it in her mouth. I don't know around. Right here.
Did anyone else understand that? I understood that perfectly.
Sorry.
Yes, have a shower.
Yeah.
You stink.
Fuck off, Archie. Who are you?
Oh,
Wow.
this is
Aoife,
awkward.
Door. I'm a friend of Archie's.
Oh, here we go.
Ether, as in E-T-E-Ether? Ether?
No. Oh, here we go.
A-O-I-F-E. Aoife.
Oh,
Irish.
Ether. Sorry, I heard ether. Oh, sorry. So wait a sec. Did you say friends of Archie?
Here we go.
I mean,
Honey, do you need help? You cannot go around having friends with like people like that. Are you okay? I mean, apparently you're not, since you're seeing him again here.
Wink slowly if you need help.
Yeah.
Iffy.
I've been through the Irish War of Independence
Oh,
and the
God.
Irish Civil War.
Oh no.
I can handle myself.
I
against
don't.
an idiot like
Oh,
him.
that. Yeah. Why? Sorry, it's early in the morning. I'm very tired. Seeing his face makes me nauseous. I'm Aisling Burnell.
Iffy, this is my
Is it?
sister,
No.
Aisling. Do you remember every time
Sister?
I mentioned her
You haven't talked
before.
about me?
I referred to you as Satan. I figured people would have cottoned on, but no one got the memo, evidently.
Better
Well, I
communicating.
don't even mention you at points, so that's fine.
So this is super. Iffy is a good friend of mine. She's smarter than you. She looks at Ashley. And cheaper, to be fair. Definitely less hassle.
Well, paid me for anything, so
Oh, I paid.
can't even talk about that.
I paid in ways you could not conceive.
Archie got up today and chose violence.
Archie just chose violence, and Aisling is shooting back. She's gonna ignore, the spawn of Beelzebub, as she goes over to Aoife and I am very sorry about the state that I'm in. I do not think that we had a guest at the moment, and I've had a very long trip.
I live with my sister and her family. Well, with my brother and his family. But, yeah, there's kids all around. This is me putting on an appearance because I'm coming to the swanky hotel.
Oh my goodness! You could have worn a bag. Peggy would have thought it was couture.
Oh! No! You leave Peggy out of this.
I get about by.
I'm just saying
being
that
sort of-
you could have worn anything, and we would still welcome you with open arms. Don't you worry.
Judge people for clothes.
Jesus.
Lisa just
You don't
leans
judge people for clothing,
over
do you?
a little bit to Aoife and just says,
Aoife.
and says, sorry, they're kind of like this all the time. And then kind of retreats back.
There was a point to this, incidentally. So before you all go...
Do tell, please.
Is Peggy here now?
Yes.
Was Peggy in the room all the
Oh,
time?
they were watching.
Yes, she was, but she just piped up with. She doesn't care how people are dressed, but she's very into a sandwich.
Mummy and Daddy are across the room.
I guess at this point Cooper comes in as well. Just have him there.
Peggy just gives him the look like.
Oh, it's that kind of a morning. Good day. Sergeant Thomas Cooper at your service.
That's the muscle.
At yours. I hope you won. Sergeant, what
Cooper.
conflict?
Oh, here we go.
What conflict?
Formerly of the Australian Brigade and later French Foreign Legion.
We're good.
Not the British Army.
Ren, is there a way to
All
boost the
black and
game?
tans.
Roro, could you check
Yeah.
your audio input if you click on your window? I believe you should be able to increase your volume.
Might need to go into
output.
settings.
Yeah, you might need to go into settings because you are a little bit low and it's having trouble catching up, catching the beginning of your sentences sometimes.
Can I explain this with the voice of Bane? So you go into user settings, and then that's more like Deckard Cain
Or
from
output.
Diablo.
Am I looking for input or output?
Output.
Okay, how's that?
I
Bit better.
completely forgot
Is
to
that
post
better?
on Twitter. Yes, I think so. Chat, please let us
Okay,
know.
I'll try.
Say
I will
Archie
try to
is
speak a
awesome.
little louder too.
Excellent, thank you.
Archie has a pillock.
Yeah, we could turn that down.
Sounds good to me.
Now, where were we?
No, we're fine so long as you won't have black and tans. Yeah, I'm Aoife, friend of Archie. And he sent me some papers and said he needed some help solving some puzzles, problems, mysteries. So here I
Archie
am.
didn't tell us.
So,
Archie doesn't tell anything to anyone.
Oh, I know.
in my
That's how he
defense,
is.
I really hoped I would come up with something at this point. It's done! If he's here, she's going to help us. I'm going to go get some coffee.
There's already coffee there on the table.
Oh, okay.
If you want. There's a huge pot of coffee and there's a huge pot of tea. There is a tiered tray of sandwiches of such exclusive quality that it makes your mouth water just looking at them.
How does she know? Accusing scare towards Lisa. I'm onto you.
Getting the impression that you're all knowing Archie quite well yourselves.
I think we should turn Rose input to maximum.
Yes. I will do so.
Still quiet.
Do you have any sort of... which setting do you have? Is it push to talk or is it voice activity? Because switching that could help.
It'll be voice activity because, I mean, I'm on an iPad. I can do push to talk, but then I'll be leaning forward every time. I can adjust the sensitivity.
There should be gain.
Yeah, if you adjust the sensitivity a little bit, that might help.
Can't you increase volume?
I have.
Are you on max?
I mean, yeah.
So stealthy.
Okay, how's that?
Better?
Better?
You can
Okay.
always raise your voice.
I'm sorry.
You have a voice.
No, that's fine.
It's okay.
I've heard you sing. You have a voice.
So, Lisa, in fact, has, when you were addressing her, she was actually fumbling with something covered by a sheet and is now pulling out, what's it called? An easel. A huge motherfucking easel. Putting it up, and then she fetches a board and puts it up on the easel and takes off.
It must be like twice her size. You should be like,
Yeah, it's a big board.
don't help me, mister. I got this.
And it's basically got all of Peggy's clues pinned on this board, and you'll be able to see it. Yeah.
Peggy's
Also, if you
clues.
want access to the actual clue board and want to see it, you can find that in our Discord. So you can join our Discord server, and there is a link to the Myro board on the Dangerous Cults channel. So, if you would all please open your clue board, please.
What's a clue?
Haven't the foggiest. Peggy's Clues, a spin-off series.
Yeah, it's like Blue's Clues, only less scousers.
You may notice that there has been some activity here. And this is all thanks to Roro, who has very phenomenally gone through everything and put down a lot of notes here.
Still working on it. But yeah. So Archie, you sent me newspaper articles, was it? And like some letters?
Yes.
Like, did you said that you found in a murder victim's possessions?
Oh, and then some. I mean, where do we start? Where do we start?
Well, I mean, I've only got those things. You posted them my way. And it takes a while to get things down to Massachusetts sometimes. So I haven't got everything up to date. But, what do you want me to do, say?
Well, I suppose really the question is, where do we go first? Because, where can we go? You know? Like, options. We need options. Questions.
Okay.
Answers.
Well, the
Mysteries.
stuff you sent me the stuff you sent me mostly pertains to the Carlisle expedition.
That's the one.
So I guess I'll start with that. So I spent a bit of time going through those newspapers, trying to create a kind of timeline. I'm assuming there's a reason why you've asked me to go through these. Did you? Yeah, I probably would have had the notes that Joanna gave them. Yeah, that's close enough to when the stuff was found.
You would know.
Okay.
Literally.
I'm just trying to be practical. Okay, so your friend Mr. Elias was
We were friends.
looking into the Carlisle expedition. Can't say that I heard of it until now, given that that kind of thing doesn't really get into war-torn Ireland. So, the first thing that we've got some evidence for is March in 1919. And there's a letter from a M. Warren Bissart, I don't know. Written to Mr. Carlisle from Cairo, and talking about his lawyer and a purveyor of singular curios in Cairo who might be able to get some interesting artifacts. I don't know anything. I have to say I am just joining dots. I don't know who any of these people are, so
We don't either.
yeah, okay. So, looking at that letter, there are 3 potential people you might want to try and get more information on. The lawyer, I don't know who Richard Carlisle's lawyer is. Perhaps it's a family lawyer, because he's got a sister, hasn't he?
That's a question. Was it
yes,
the sister?
That's the one we're invited to a party for, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, we got a very nice invitation from her lawyer.
I'm going to a party.
Yes. I think you're better.
Oh yes, you weren't there for that part, were you?
I was, party. Oh wait, who?
Archie.
Yes.
I was.
Yes.
It's when Aisling. I'm your +2 straight away before she could even ask Cooper or Archie if they wanted to. Aisling just invited herself. Yeah.
She just did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
so Rosemary has put a note in about maybe it's Erica's lawyer. I don't know that. So,
We can assume.
there's also this Faraz Najjar. Don't know if he's relevant. And of course, M. Warren Bessar. I don't know if that's an M for Michel or an M for Monsieur. I'm guessing maybe something to do with antiquities. And I have to admit I'm curious as to whether there's any indication beforehand if Carlisle has a particular... Excuse me, these are fantastic sandwiches. I'm not used to such rich food.
Just wait until it gets to your round.
Yeah, what piqued his interest in Egypt? Oops. I did not mean to use that. I'm on my touch screen so it doesn't behave itself. So, a letter is sent, don't know when it arrives. I mean, I'm guessing he's from Cairo, it would have taken a little while to get here. And then the next thing that we've got information about is in April, I believe. A bit of gossip that Mr. Carlisle's leaving, and then the following day actually has proper information about it. So on the 5th of April, your Mr. Carlisle left New York, and he went with a few named people.
That's a whole month.
Or, I mean, between the letter being sent from Cairo, I don't think it's too ridiculous. I mean, that probably means that it arrived a week, a fortnight later. So
he
that
was...
means actually he put this together very fast.
More than that, he was waiting on a letter to get the go to make it worthwhile. Right?
Potentially. I don't have any information for that, but it's certainly a potential thing. So the people that we are people of interest are, of course, Roger Carlyle. I mean, it talks about him having a lot of money and being a playboy, and at the time being in charge of the company. But beyond that, I can't say I know much. Perhaps you found out more if you've identified him as someone interesting. You've got Sir Aubrey Penhew, Brett, leader of the team, head of excavations, he's an Egyptologist, and there's the Penhew Foundation, which I know there's like a business card for someone currently at the Penhew Foundation. I'm not sure, but that was among the things you found in Mr. Elias's belongings. Is that right?
Correct. You're hitting the nail on the head. Did Archie just give you everything?
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
No, I'm just thinking he didn't talk to us about it, so...
oh,
Your friend Mrs. Andrews then made the same point.
it's the
I just
past.
I'm not... Aoife, this has nothing to do with you, sweetie. You're doing an incredible job.
See? I made a good call.
Oh,
Who'd we lose?
Teddy.
His Discord is acting up. It's...
Edward Gavigan. I mean, he didn't. He didn't send me the originals. I imagine, rather painstakingly wrote it all out for me. Which, I mean, in his defense, indicates that he actually thought it was important.
See? Catholic school taught me something.
Yeah. We got a Dr. Robert Huston, a Freudian psychologist, allegedly pursuing some research into pictographs. I think the word for that might be hieroglyphs, but, you know, pictographs is what they say in the newspaper. There's a Miss Hypatia Masters, who was linked in the past to Carlyle, doesn't say romantically, or if there's some other connection, who's going to be the photographer and archivist, and then the general factotum, Mr. Jack Brady, who is intimate to Mr. Carlyle. I don't know exactly what. I don't know if that's being used as a
Iffy.
description
Come on.
or a noun. I know about people being intimate, don't you worry. I don't want to make any assumptions that are unwanted.
Don't worry. I'll do it for both of us.
It does. Plus it mentions, maybe they got some additional members from London. It's not specified. So they head off to London. It doesn't say anything about when they left for Egypt itself, but they were planning to do some research at the Penhew Foundation. Perhaps you get a bit more out of the current director. I don't know, but the gentleman whose business card you have. June is a fairly quiet month, and then things start getting a little bit odd in July. They decide they're going to leave Egypt. Ostensibly for a holiday. But it seems that Mr. Carlyle became ill, or... I'm getting the suspicion that something weird is going on here, so I don't think actually he got sunstroke. He got involved with the digging. Yeah, I'm getting the impression that something weird's happening, so did something happen during
Weird.
the excavation? I've heard rumors about Peru. You never actually told me what happened. But
And I never will.
yeah. Yeah, weird stuff. But yeah, they went off from Cairo. And it's kind of... I don't know if I'm just thinking too much into things, but it seems almost like Sir Aubrey was promoted. You know, he was sort of assistant lead in the first article, and then was it yes, assistant leader, and then in the next one he becomes co-leader, and Carlisle just becomes a useful financier. And I don't know if it's just a discrepancy between New York and Mombasa reporting, or if Mr. Carlisle just seemed off, or not as, you know, I mean, if he's a playboy, I'm guessing he is quite a forceful personality. So, I don't know, maybe he's just ill, maybe he's just off.
I mean,
if he is that's the best part of a month for him to be having sunstroke for. That's weird.
he's an ego, right? He's a playboy. So for him to be demoted like that would have been humiliating. And
I mean, like I said, I don't know that is an actual hierarchical demotion. It's just how the newspaper's reporting it. So, you know,
okay,
take what you will from that.
Iffy, what's your gut tell you?
Sorry.
What does your gut tell you?
I feel like something might have been impairing Mr. Carlisle.
Mm-hmm.
Or that Mr. Penhew... Sorry, Sir Penhew... Sorry, I really shouldn't speak like that in front of you.
In front of who?
English people.
Haha.
English people.
Rich people.
English.
Oh.
I'm not English.
Oh. Here we
I'm
go.
the only English
Sounded
one here.
sweetheart.
I can put in an Irish accent if I want to.
Apart from from paying, you can insult the British as much as you want to.
Oh, here we go.
It's fine.
Apart from you.
Continue.
Really? Ashley? If Grandad could see you now,
Really?
he would
Archie?
cry.
Well, if Grandad would see you now, he'd jump off a roof, wouldn't he?
One could hope. Maybe then I could see him die twice.
Lisa, do you have anything stronger than tea or coffee?
I do.
She turns around and she's holding a brandy. Puts it in
Thank
your
you, I know it's
hand.
illegal. As she gives her a coin.
It's
just
it's not illegal. It's not illegal. It's medicine, right, miss?
Yeah.
Yes. It's legally prescribed
very
as medicine.
right. She gives her the coin either way as she just starts drinking.
It's legally prescribed.
This
I-
is a strange little group.
Uh,
I'm gonna lie. Also,
what?
I noticed that the Mr. Jack Brady, who was mentioned in the first, second article, the first one that's really talking about what's going on, he doesn't get mentioned in any of the other articles. Now, maybe a general factotum just isn't important enough to bother mentioning, but, given that one of Mr. Elias's notes said that Mr. Brady was then seen a few years later in Hong Kong, suspicious, to say the
Survivor.
least.
So,
Now, does that mean that he left the group? Does it mean that he survived all the killing?
Pardon me
happened
for a
and
second.
just-
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Bless you.
wait. Remind me, where was Brady spotted?
Hong Kong by one Dales Nelson.
Hong Kong. It's not that big if he decided to try and hide there. It's,
I don't know.
Would you please roll a intelligence roll, Archie?
you know what
Oh.
happens?
Yes.
Is it just intelligence, or is it going to be something specific? Schnotty right.
That is 20 out of 85, so it's...
Oh, no, it's just Archie.
Oh, I thought
Yes.
you said row.
No, Archie.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
Thought so too. So,
Can I not?
Yeah.
My bad.
Can I not delegate this?
Nope,
um,
you may not.
all right, I guess. Yeah. History. Booyah! I got 5. I got 5. It's low as all hell.
You met a certain someone in Shanghai.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Of course
Don't
you
you remember?
Obviously, frickin' not.
But you just remember now
Wait,
that.
you mean Jack with a limp? It's just-
No, Jackson Elias.
Oh.
He was in Shanghai.
Jackson Elias.
It just hits you. You have a letter from him, I believe.
No. Yeah, maybe. What? I've just got, let's see, some hate mail. It says,
Don't be suspicious, don't be
It was that Archie
suspicious.
that killed Jackson Elias.
Yes.
hang on.
It was 2 places at once.
Here,
The heart.
Archie makes this weird gurgling, I swear I'm not having a stroke noise. And then, almost falling out of his kimono, races into his bedroom. Where you hear him, like, rummaging around before he comes storming back in with this wrinkled piece of paper that looks like it may have been poorly treated in its brief existence. Dear Archie, your sister informed me you've made Shanghai your home. Same old Jackson. And offered me this address. How drunk was I? Anyways, I don't know if it is still in use, as all of my previous letters have been returned to me, but here's to hoping. He gives a sideways glance at Peggy, showing a little bit of guilt. Last year, I finished my book about our adventure in Peru, The Hungry Dead, and I've left a signed copy for you with Jonah Kensington at Prospero House. I really should pick that up.
Joanna. But yeah.
Joanna. My publisher. Just let me know and I'll have her send it to you. Personally, I'm working on a very intense and exciting project which is taking me from Kenya to Hong Kong. 1924, September the 24th. I expect to arrive there on the 26th of September, and if time allows it, I would like nothing more than to meet, however shortly it may be. You know, I think we did
You
meet.
stood him up.
I may have met with him, but I was very...
Under the influence?
Silence, Lisa! Know your place!
That was not Lisa. That was
I
from,
know.
from above.
Yeah.
Saying,
I was... Eva was about to say the same thing.
So,
Archie, have you been... you've had this letter the entire time and you haven't told us.
You've
honestly,
been sitting on something so significant and you haven't even
I...
sparked anything inside that
God?
login of yours?
Hey,
I can't hear Peggy at all.
Oh, I can hear.
Oh.
I could hear her.
yeah.
I could hear her.
Okay, sorry. I have to jump.
Okay, we have musical chairs.
Shimmy, 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 shimmy. Yeah. So, honestly, it's not my fault. He sent it to me. So, I can't be
He was
blamed. I
alive, and
was...
then maybe you thought, oh, the guy that has now been murdered by a cult sent me a letter. Maybe a couple of
mean-
months ago.
Murder generally is seen as bad, I would think. I mean, really, is it relevant?
And then,
Just saying.
Peggy drinks and just starts drinking.
This is why everyone I know ends up alcoholic.
But this is medicine, it's fine.
So,
I'm not an alcoholic.
give it time.
Stop anymore.
I mean,
No, I saw what happened to Frank. Just like no. You remember Frank?
Right?
You certainly remember Mick,
yeah.
my big brother.
It's irrelevant, really. It's just old friends. We can talk about it later, Ivy.
What date was that letter written?
Sorry. Yes, it was September the 24th, 1924.
Okay. Okay, that's important because I don't have much for that period, based on what you sent me.
Well,
And he said he was going to be arriving on the 22nd, yes?
it was sent to my address in Hong Kong. Now, this letter tells me two things. One, I really did a lot of opiates when I was in Shanghai. Two, I should probably pick up that copy he left me at Prospero House. Three, there was three things. Three, I should probably get back to Shanghai and see if I left anything at my home there. If I can remember the address. Oh, it's here. Yeah, excellent.
So I'm guessing you don't actually remember when you encountered him.
Oh no, I was I was
Under the
chasing Dragon
influence.
half the time, really.
Alright, well, I mean, that's still more information.
You're welcome. Some
Doesn't give us
people
much
should
more by way of
look on
clues,
the
but it
good news.
helps us track him.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Is that Peggy? Hmm?
back to the Carlisle expedition.
Ah.
Unless there's anything else you've forgotten is in a back pocket of a pair of trousers that got washed.
Joke's on you. I only have one pair. Ha!
So very little has changed. Okay. Right. So we're at Mombasa at the moment, and the Carlisle expedition say that they're going to go to Nairobi and do some hunting. Right. There's nothing more for a little while until we get to October. At which point a report is made that the expedition is feared lost. Now this one doesn't really... The main thing that stands out here... Well, two things that stand out here. One, the rumors that they were after the legendary biblical treasures of King Solomon. There's that book that came out a few years ago. A bit of a smash hit, apparently. But what really stands out to me is the fact that the article indicates that there are 5 Americans in the expedition. Now, this is not necessarily in direct contradiction to articles, but it is. We've got Roger Carlyle, who's mentioned. We've got Dr. Robert Huston, again, Miss Hypatia Masters, possibly Mr. Jack Brady. But the other person that we've got a name for in there is English. So who's this 5th American?
Could have been a typo?
I don't know if you've had anything else. Bro does. I can't remember when we got that information.
No, sorry, I'm just like information overload for me right now, so I'm just like, yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't you apologize. I'm just. That's why I'm quiet. I'm just sitting here like, yes.
Well,
Good to get
Processing.
an overview of all those pieces.
If we break it
This is
down
not your fault at all.
to-
It's just my brain being like,
If I'm hoping that the way I've set it out on the mirror board helps to join bits
yes,
together
yes.
a bit more easily.
Oh yeah, don't you worry. You're doing an excellent job. It's just my brain being like, I lied about it. There's so much information. Ah fuck. That's it. Don't you worry.
Ashling's like, I get everything. I understand everything.
Yeah, Ashling is like, this is why I hate playing clever characters, because Ashling, like, yes, understand it, great, put on the board. Hulda is here with the red wine, being like, fuck my life, okay.
Just tell me where to roll the
You
dice.
did choose.
Yeah.
I did.
I've chosen poorly.
Don't remind me.
It's where we're
We
going
love
next.
you.
That's what matters. So, one location that is definitely worth visiting is Hong Kong.
And possibly Africa.
But Hong
Okay,
Kong.
yeah.
Dim sum?
Since you rolled a 4,
What?
since you did roll a 4,
Technically, it was 5.
okay, since you rolled a 5, you have a moment of clarity and you realise that you did meet Jackson after you received that letter, and you met him in Shanghai and he said he had business. He had business there and he was looking for someone.
I'm not going to tell them that. They're just going to get more annoyed.
You're not going to tell your clue
What?
master.
It's just, if I relate that information to you guys, what's going to happen is Cooper's going to grunt disgustingly, and Peggy's going to lecture me on the proper way of, I don't know, cataloguing stuff. Or is that Ashley? I don't know, they blend into one. Point is, Archie's going to be like the bad guy again. Done. I can't.
Just FYI, Cooper's gonna growl at you because Cooper asked you about your visit to Shanghai and Jackson's visit to Shanghai pretty early on.
Yep.
Apeshit Archie.
It's not my
Yeah.
fault. You know what? Alright, he does relay it, but he starts with the very clever line, which we've all done, which goes like, now don't be mad, but...
Oh my god.
Also, Charlie's Dragon says in the
Murdered
chat.
in his sleep.
To be honest,
Yep.
the amount of times I've used that in real life is exceptional for Gil.
I mean, the best one is when you pretend that you said it, and when everyone's like, you never said that. I was like, yes, I did. Pay attention.
Charlie's Dragon is saying, maybe Archie accidentally says it like, oh yeah, Jackson said he had business when I saw him, not realising he had shared that.
Yes.
That does sound very much like him too.
I don't want to do this. I'm going to get so much crap. Fine. Alright, let's pull the band-aid off.
You're gonna get a thorough whopping.
So, yeah, that was where he we met up, and he told me that he was trying to look for someone in Shanghai. That makes much more sense. Yes. What?
Well, at least we know now.
Archie's memories, like more news as it comes.
Did you knock your head Did you knock something loose when you got the chandelier on? Suddenly you have memory?
By sobriety.
How is this happening?
Achievement unlocked.
Sober for a day.
It had quite an impact.
This could have been so helpful. And we've been...
Yes, so this is Iffy. She's here to help us. Let's focus on her.
Apparently we have to invite... Oh, you should invite her more often, because suddenly you have a brain.
I mean...
Well,
No, I'm just gonna go lie down. Hold on, I'm just gonna lie down. Ren, if you have any more stuff to tell me, just tell someone else. It's done. I'm gonna lie down now.
If Rick was the DM now, he
not.
would be flipping the table,
Mhm.
throwing his dice, you
That's why you
know.
bought a heavy table.
Michael says, it's like when you slap the TV to make it work again.
It worked! In the old days.
Noggin damage to get it
God's
loose.
sake. Any other curveballs you're gonna throw me, Ren?
I mean, I did tell you.
Christ.
You forgot. You didn't
This-
write it down.
Pay attention, class.
Just, with
Okay,
you and your
question
ADH
for the
brain, it's probably
keeper.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Ro remembers there being a mention of a lover of Carlisle going with them on the trip, but I can't find where it is in my notes.
I think
Or if
could
it's in a
it
letter.
could it have been the
It
speculation
might
around
have been last episode.
Hypatia, or
It was definitely a different name.
yes.
Yes. Well, we need to talk to Jack.
Yes. Let's see.
I think it might have been a newspaper article that they found in last session.
Do you know what would help?
Let's see.
If we broke this down, like they do with BioWare, like in Dragon Age or Mass Effect, right? So at the end of this, we have like destinations we want to visit. Just don't go to Vermeer or Orzammar, okay? Because don't like Orzammar.
I'm just providing you with what's here, and you can decide which leads you want to pursue.
Exactly. So if it goes wrong, it's all your Ashling's fault.
She's not my Ashling.
Right.
Right.
Right. So Hong Kong is definitely one place to visit.
Let's see. No, what was mentioned, I believe, was that. Oh, sorry. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Michael. Orzammar was cool for the horror. Those whispers in the dark.
Oh my gosh, seriously.
Bless you.
So, I think it was that.
Is it the pregnancy thing?
Yeah, the lawyers evaded a paternity suit against him when he was 17.
Okay. That's fine. I just wanted to clarify that out of character.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, we've got the expedition going missing. Latter half of 1919, and possibly some unidentified people in the expedition at that point. I don't know, but possibly something to follow up. The next we hear is the sister arriving in Mombasa, Miss Erica Carlisle. She's with the intent of trying to find her brother's company. She also has a Mrs. Victoria post with her. I don't know if that's relevant. Perhaps she might know more. And the massacre itself is confirmed in late May. Nandi tribesmen are blamed for the murders, and Kikuyu tribesmen were involved in finding them, although the police found them, and that's something that clearly Mr. Elias picked up on because he went and talked to a policeman later and found out that that isn't actually true.
Yes.
Oh, do you want me to jump forward to that, or do you want me to just keep going chronologically?
Well, chronologically is great, but this is interesting. How do you mean
Okay then.
they faked it?
So there's an interview with a Lieutenant Mark Selkirk in Elias's notes. and he was one of the ones who actually found the massacre site. And there weren't any Caucasian people there. It was only Kenyan bearers. Which means that, yes, there was a massacre, but no evidence whatsoever of the Carlisle people themselves being dead.
So they got vanished.
I don't know if they got vanished or maybe they deliberately vanished themselves.
Why make a hubbub of making it look like they were dead when they could just make them disappear?
There was a speculation in one of the notes that the whole trial of the Nandi tribesmen was just a farce to cover up the disappearance for the sake of Erica Carlisle when she showed up.
They didn't want her looking. Do you think
Maybe.
we can trust Erica? Anyone? Lisa? I'm kidding,
I think
Lisa.
you can get more information from her. Maybe she's in on it. Maybe she's an innocent sister who's lost her brother. I don't know. I mean, it seems like she's done pretty well since he went missing.
So
We definitely have to get my invitation to include more people. So we can talk to her, hopefully.
oh yes.
Has
Has Peggy's been to balls before? Like, know how the fairs go if you actually meet the one that invited, because since it was
Yeah.
through her
If I recall correctly,
lawyer
she's been invited to a fundraiser
fundraiser.
gala. And Peggy is familiar with the fact that you get invited because the people who invite you expect and know that you are capable and most likely willing to pay a certain sum to attend in order to raise funds for a cause. In this case, it seems to be, let's say, something arbitrary, like it's an orphanage that needs renovating and expanding or whatever. So it's for poor children, something that definitely,
poor children.
yes, something
No.
that makes rich people look good and makes them feel good
Yeah,
about
look
themselves,
Look
because
good
then
in
they
the
can,
papers.
yeah.
Thank God no one does that anymore. Oh, that was such a bitter laugh.
And in your experience, because Peggy has probably been invited to several of these and attended, she knows that getting an invitation is only difficult if you can't spit in the means. If you know that the person you want to get invited has the means to pay up, then the likelihood of them getting a legitimate invitation goes up exponentially.
So, call and casually mention my rich friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or volunteer a donation on their behalf.
Quick history question. Was the IRA funded by donations in high society in America? Because they were in the 90s.
I don't know.
Not necessarily. They definitely got some funding and weaponry sent over by American Irish who, had dispersed, particularly during the various famines and unrests. And of course, the ones who went to America were a bit anti-British, so they were very in favour of Crown rule. Whether that's a lot of funding is a totally different matter. I mean, these were largely rural peasants who were escaping famine. Some of them will have done well, but I don't know how well and how many of them would have entered high society.
It wouldn't be completely reaching for straws to assume that some may have gotten involved in the alcohol smuggling business during Prohibition and spent that money by sending it back to Ireland to fuel the IRA's dealings.
Yeah, that just about brings up the times, yeah.
Maybe something to
What are you thinking, Rick?
look into.
Hmm?
Might be worth looking into. As a way to, I'm thinking as a grifter. Okay, I'm thinking of as like a way to mingle, get, deceive, lie, mingle.
Okay.
Are you trying to convince us? Are you trying to convince us or the characters?
Which is easier?
No, us.
Yes.
Right now,
Yes.
Touche.
Right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a late
so,
Monday. So we got Hong
continuing on
Kong.
a little bit with, continuing on with a little bit with that. I haven't quite finished with the Carlisle expedition, but to pick up from Elias's investigations and that interview that he did with Lieutenant Selkirk. Sorry, Selkirk thought that it was a fixed job. You know, that they were just trying to pin the blame on someone. And wasn't terribly impressed with the way that things were being managed. But only corpses of Kenyan bearers were found strewn across. And also, it was a very brutal death that they seemed to suffer. Sort of torn apart, but clean almost. Just, systematically dismembered is the phrase he uses. And yeah, I think so. The official court account of the massacre was probably correct. Well, okay, so they think that Andy Triceman might have been somehow involved, but that he suspected the charges were trumped up against the ringleaders, and that it's not the first time that kind of thing's happened. Other bits of information that Elias discovered, I think after that point it's mostly looking into his own investigations into what was going on. It seems that he, left New York in May, visited London and Paris. Perhaps he was going to the Penfield Foundation. But we start getting more of his notes in July. Lots of very unhelpful people in Kenya, apparently, when it comes to asking about the Carlisle expedition. Either uncooperative or not knowing much.
What are they worried about?
Maybe they're trying to keep up a face. Maybe they don't like. Pardon me if this is a rude question, but what colour was your friend Mr. Elias?
Oh, yeah, he was dark skinned.
Right.
He was kind of like
So,
varnished oak.
okay,
He was
Archie, stop.
struck me as a
Archie.
sorry.
Greg,
Archie,
please.
stop. Because I can't imagine that the white colonialists over there are going to be too keen on black people poking their noses in. Even if they are Americans. And again, they might hate Americans more, so. He went to the village. Oh, there's an unknown Thomas that he travelled with. Archie, you haven't met Thomas, have you?
I don't know, Rin. Have I met a Thomas?
It says in his notes that he was his guide, his local guide.
Okay, that wasn't. 100% clear because sometimes he calls him Thomas and sometimes he calls him my guide, and it
Yes.
seems to be
Yeah.
separate. Okay, never mind that then. He went to the massacre site. Apparently, it's all kind of dead, bit grim, and kind of got a bad feeling from the place. I think. Didn't stay too long, and yeah. After that point, he was starting to try and find out more about the folklore, about the culture. And this is when he starts hearing about a malevolent local deity and the god of the black wind in the mountain. And there's a folklorist that he talked to who was talking about the cult of the bloody tongue, I believe it was.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
One more time.
So there's a note in here that there's a Johnston Kenyatta who's a local folklorist, who he mentions the Mountain of the Black Wind, which matches up with the God of the Black Wind, and then he also mentioned the Bloody Tongue.
Bloody tongue.
Yeah, and is that mentioned by the Ndovo villagers? I'm just trying to check that. But a lot of pieces of paper here.
Bloody
No,
tongue.
yeah.
Yeah,
Does that mean
cult
something
we
to you?
are... The
The
cult
cult we are
that killed
trying to-
Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh. Well then, that makes things more interesting.
Oh, I
Um,
mean, interesting.
I mean,
Knives.
Elias was a bit skeptical, but Kenyatta was certainly quite adamant about it. And it seems that, further investigation, he was hearing more about it, even if it's not real, or at least even if he thought it wasn't real, there were people who thought it was real, so sometimes that means more. I'm really sorry, I'm moving that way. Okay. Because I'm on a touch screen. Okay. And also, Elias is wondering, why, if the interest was in Cairo, because going all the way back to the start of that, the lawyer was saying that Mr. Carlyle was interested in this land, which, I mean, it could be Egypt, it could be in the entirety of Africa, for all I know, but, they went to Cairo, they did some digging, something happened, and they decided to go off to Kenya, where they vanished.
And that was the point he was replaced by Aubrey Penhew of the Penhew Foundation.
He's kind of seen. It never quite says that Sir Aubrey takes over,
I was a taker.
but it kind of goes from assistant leader to co-leader, and seems to be the one kind of regarded a bit more highly.
Sounds like a coup. I mean,
That possibly, I don't know.
it's what I would do.
And also, Elias wants to find out more about the itinerary that the company had. He also met Nelson, and who reported seeing Mr. Jack Verity in March of 1923, so nearly 2 years ago now, and 3 years after the expedition apparently vanished. And at this point, he kind of went, "Oh yes, they must all be alive, so I'm going to write a book about this."
Another fool.
Then he goes a bit of a trek. So he goes to Hong Kong, and then presumably, and then goes to Shanghai a few days later. Perhaps Mr. Nelson is relocated.
Hmm.
Then he leaves Shanghai for Cairo. There's nothing confirming if he made it as far as Cairo.
Mr. Nelson is the man he met who told him that Brady had been spotted in Hong Kong.
Yeah, but Elias didn't meet him.
Hmm?
Oh,
Yes,
sorry,
Elias
yes.
met
Sorry.
him.
Elias met Nelson, so he probably went to Hong Kong to try and see if Mr. Brady was still there.
Yes,
Sorry.
that is fine.
Um,
I'm going
Thank
to
you for
stop you
correcting.
there because I think we all could use a little bit of a break. So
Sure.
we're gonna take 10 minutes and we will be back at, let's see, what time is it? So we're gonna be back at
8.
5 to 8? Or, yeah,
8.
let's say 8. For the last hour of the stream. So we will be back shortly. Please don't go anywhere. And feel free to join the Discord and have a look at the clues board yourself. And see if you can come up with some perspectives we haven't found yet.
Or check the spelling.
So, see you soon.
sure.
Tea time.
Welcome back, Teddy. As I mentioned, Hulda is feeling a little under the weather and needed a bit of a breather. She's still listening to the stream and she's still here with voice, but she just needs some time to just sit back a little bit. So, we will continue where we left off. I believe we were talking about... Let's see, where were we? Yes, he had. You were talking about Elias having. Oh, you're on mute.
Because I didn't want you to hear me going to close the door. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, we've got a bit of a timeline for Elias, but there's a piece of paper here. Seems a bit weird. Many names, many forms, but all the same and towards one end. Need help. Too big, too ghastly, these dreams. Dreams like Carlyle's? Check that psychoanalyst's files. All of them survived. They'll open the gate wide. So the power and the danger is real. Many threads beginning. The books are in Carlyle's safe. Coming for me, will the ocean protect? Ho ho, no critters now. Must tell readers. Must make them believe. Should I scream for them? Let's scream together. Seems a little bit out of character given all the other things that I've read that you gave me. This doesn't have a date on it, so I don't actually know where it fits in with the timeline. But it's interesting that he mentions Carlyle's dreams and our friend Dr. Huston.
Houston, I think, isn't it? Or something.
I don't know. It's H-O.
Oh,
It's not
yeah.
an O in it.
Good.
What's that, Peggy?
I believe his editor said this last piece of thing from Elias was at the end of this, very new, before he
Yeah.
died.
Very recent. Yes.
Very recent. So, at the end, at least.
But does that mean it was written in January? Was it a prompted by something that happened? Maybe he had some strange experience in Cairo. Maybe there was a strange experience and then things escalated. I don't know. But a couple of things there. The fact that Carlyle was apparently having strange dreams as well. Where the heck did he find out that? And they need to see the psychoanalyst's files. Now it says all of them survived. I don't know if that means that the files survived or if it means that all of the parties survived. and I don't know where you'd find them. And it also mentions that there are books in Carlisle's safe, so that would be worth looking into, but goodness knows where they're supposed to be.
Which Carlisle?
Good point. And I mean, if he wrote this in his last few weeks, he was heading back to New York, wasn't he? Maybe he was coming back to look for something back in the Carlisle home. I don't know.
I expect he was terrified for his life.
Kind of got that impression, yes.
It sounded very much like it.
The sea protects. It doesn't sound like he was referring to the Navy. It's an odd thing to say.
Keeper? Is that something Peggy has heard before?
Will the sea protect?
What? What?
Like, is that relevant to anything so she can roll?
What? What happened to you? God.
It was in the letters.
Oh, that.
Archie should know that.
Yeah. Archie should. He was.
I'd like to see those letters too. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I can't share them with you, but yeah, I can do that.
That is fine.
I offered to read them to her, but it was 2 in
You
the morning.
can roll a Cthulhu Mythos.
2 in the morning. What?
I was kind of hoping you wouldn't
Thank
hear
you. So the letters were that interesting, huh?
that. Yes.
Keeper, is there any point in me rolling psychoanalysis from these letters?
Yes, you can.
None.
What's the mythos again? Is it
Cthulhu Mythos is... It's under credit rating. Oh, right, by credit rating. No. Yeah, it's difficult to make a judgment based on writings.
I've got Cthulhu Mythos 2. That's like
What? Where?
1 in 50.
It's like sticking your
Really?
tongue into a glass of brandy.
Oh, there's. See.
After this lockdown, that might be all it takes.
No, dice.
Oh! We have the great beyond
Wild eyes.
looking
Wild
dice.
eyes.
Wild eyes. Wild eyes? Or wild dice?
Wild dice in the free.
Yes.
A wild dice appears.
No.
It's
Absolutely not.
ineffective.
Then no.
Cthulhu
Then no.
Mythos.
Cthulhu Mythos,
Yeah.
I got a 90, so. Actually, Peggy has a lot in it, but not 90.
No. You can't see any connection to this from what you've experienced.
Mm.
So, no.
Worth a shot.
Yep.
I mean,
I have
okay, so that's about as far as I got with Elias. I mean, he's got a photo of a boat from Shanghai, matchbox. Wondering if Archie knows anything about that matchbox, given the studies in Shanghai. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I probably frequented that place. You know, it's hard to tell until I'm actually in the area. So I say that it's probably a good idea for me to maybe retrace my steps, you know? Go back to these bars and...
A group
Massage
Sure.
parlours.
Absolutely.
to jog memory.
I hate that no one took the chess reference. Die.
Maybe they chose not to. Think of that. Dad jokes.
Or we're just uncultured swine.
A bit of both.
There's there was the business card, Emerson Imports, and that's a local thing. So I'm wondering if you guys might have already followed up on that.
Yes. I think we can write that one off. Ish. Peggy?
We could try and talk to that, the shopkeep. I believe the police have him.
I feel like you might have jumped a few steps there. What? Emerson Imports? Or or is this the Silas and Kwame?
Yeah.
On the back of it.
Peggy's thinking of someone else.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of the Juju house, darling.
Well, there's so much. There's been a lot.
There has.
Hello.
But what's important is, I still have my shoes. Click, click.
Aoife has seen the shoes.
Should you have them?
So they're really comfy.
Uh,
They were a gift from a
Charlie's
dear friend.
Dragon, by the way, says, I would think getting in touch with Erica Carlisle and seeing if you can get access to the safe, or at least find out if they're out where it is so you can break into it, would be good, but I'm just a fly on the wall.
Well, that was kind of what I was. Peggy was thinking with the foundation, the party thing.
Oh, the fundraiser. Yes.
The fundraising to get to her and have a talk.
Yes, she is in country.
So the Emerson
So that's
thing
definitely a thing.
was the Emerson thing a dirty end?
Oh no,
Was
it led us to the Juju house and the cult.
That's how it.
Oh, delightful.
Yes, memorable.
Were there any links to Mombasa with Emerson Imports?
Yes, they have a link on the other side.
Okay, so potentially another point of interest, someone to look into.
Yes, but not one to research unarmed. Guns.
There we go. I'll just sing. Is the Emerson is the US agent for the Mombasan exporter Archie Singh.
There you go.
I know that. I'm also trying to be in character.
Yes. I am saying it simply to remind the players, not you.
Oof. Some latency issues here.
I don't know if you've looked into it, but there's a book that Mr. Elias was looking into from Harvard that it wasn't in the collection anymore. I don't know if you were able to find out what that was. You've
This
got it.
book.
Ah,
Oh. Well, okay then. That's cross that off the list.
I do believe that
Is there
might be in Ashling's possession.
yeah, Aisling doesn't,
I imagine
doesn't
she
know.
showed.
Yeah.
Cooper pulled an Archie. Hey,
Hey!
In my possession.
so
yes.
proud. Best check that.
All
Duplicates everywhere.
He's like blood.
The two are you quite done? Thank you.
One would hope.
But I mean, it
So
also
the
should
other-
still be in Peggy's room, since we're all stayed at the hotel since yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. So, the other things that you sent me notes of, there was a leaflet for a lecture with a Professor Anthony Cowell's PhD. I don't know if that's relevant to anything, or if you want to go and see if you can get down to Arkham.
What?
Oh, that's
was-
in Massachusetts, isn't it?
Yeah, at which point
That's
Ashley probably interjects that she has just spoken to the professor and arrived yesterday. Arrived back from Massachusetts yesterday. And
Oh, it's a horrible train journey, isn't it?
Very, but I had a very good book, so thank you for your concern, but that's not the case right now.
Alright. Well, maybe if I can take a look at those lecture notes that you've got, I'll see if I can pull anything out of them that I don't know.
Yeah. She gives her the thingy about the
Yes. Yes.
Yep, that one.
The
that
thing.
one. And it is on the board.
Okay, the last thing that was found at the crime scene was a business card for the director of the PenQ Foundation, Edward Gavigan. So I'm wondering if at one of the points where Mr. Elias stopped off in London, either on the way to Kenya or on the way back from Cairo, he stopped to speak with Mr. Gavigan, so that might be a point to look into. I think that is about everything I've got. I mean, seems like you've got some more information about the bloody tongue, which what's a girl in Boston gonna do? I think I've covered just about everything that I've been given access to. So the ways I see it, you've got a few domestic leads that you can pick up. You've already crossed off the Professor Cowles and the book in Arkham, and you've already gone to Emerson Imports and followed that line of inquiry. I don't know if there's something a bit more to do with that. Oh, does that mean that oh no, I don't know if I would have seen the piece about Elias's murder in the newspaper in Hilton. So I won't worry about that for now.
You've probably caught some of it because it's been a big case the last few days, because there's a trial that's gonna most likely be reopened for Hilton Adams.
Okay, so the Hilton Adams things has been looked into. So, I mean, you've got a few people who are presumably stateside who you might want to look into, obviously. It seems like you've got something for Miss Carlisle coming up.
Yep. Party!
And there's also, who was it? There was Mrs. Victoria Post? Yes, Mrs. Victoria Post. I don't know what relation she is to Erica Carlisle, but she's described as her companion in the March 11th, 1920 article. Maybe if she turns up to the party, you might be able to get a little more inside knowledge that might, I don't know, maybe less guarded if Erica Carlisle is keeping her lips tight. Also, maybe look into who Roger Carlyle's lawyer would have been back in 1919, whether or not it's a family lawyer, or if it's someone who's come and gone.
We should probably wrap up as much domestically as we can before we hop on any boat or what have you.
Yeah.
They have fancy boats that can go back and forth.
It takes a long time.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Teleportation.
But
Portals.
they have these technically advanced boats. They have airplanes now. Just popping over.
I don't know if you've got any further plans to follow up with all the Hilton stuff and the local murders, but that's a potential other domestic thing to be looking into.
I think we solved that.
Yeah. You've kind of left that case into the hands of the journalist that you rescued, and waitresses, and Rebecca Schosenberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
The formidable ones.
Okay. So it seems like the primary thing to be looking into at the moment is the Carlyle family.
See how long
Um,
Bradley Gray have been with them.
Yeah. Beyond that, I mean, you've got quite a few places worldwide that you could be looking into. You might want to follow Elias' steps or backtrack, I don't know. I mean, he has been to all the places that the Carlisle expedition went, so if you follow his tracks, you'll end up following... Sorry, I keep on moving it. I'm using the touch screen.
Well, unfortunately, Jackson went a little bit crazy at the end, so I don't think we'll follow his exact steps. But yes, it's a good good suggestion.
Where's Hong Kong
I mean,
on the map? I failed geography.
Next to China.
China's big.
You're
Post.
actually in about the right space. It's...
I am following your cursor. That's the ocean.
Yeah, Hong Kong is.
Ah,
of
it's so
course.
tiny. Found it.
Yep. A separate part. Well,
That's gonna take some time to get to.
You've got a world tour coming up, it seems like. Okay, so to summarize the places that we know he's been, we've got London, and potentially the Penhew Foundation. They might be able to give you a little more insight into the Carlisle expedition's intentions or what Sir Aubrey had in mind, even if it was different from what Mr. Carlisle had. It mentions Paris, but we haven't seen anything to do with Paris yet, and that was planned from when he went to New York City. I don't know if the publisher might know a little more, or maybe it's just a stop. Mind you, it's not on the coast, so it doesn't make sense as just a port. I don't suppose...
I think all of you who've travelled a bit realise that it isn't likely that he visited Paris due to the time it would take to travel. So most likely he didn't go to Paris.
Okay.
Also, Thomas would probably have heard from him if he visited France. So, and he didn't.
Yeah. I was trying not to say but I mean, his itinerary says London and Paris, so I'm just saying what's there. He obviously went to Kenya, so he went to Kenya before he went to Cairo. I mean, it seems like it might be that that Cairo is the place where people seem to go a little weird. Arguably. But you've got Mombasa, Nairobi, and the Great Rift and Abdari Forest, where, you know, it all happened on this mountain. Beyond that, you've got Hong Kong and Shanghai, where Mr. Jack Brady was seen, where you have potentially gone and left some stuff that you might need. Yeah, I'm just having a quick skim of these notes from Professor Cowles, and I mean, it mentions Australia, but I'm not entirely sure I see the connection beyond just general death cults.
Fair enough. So Erica's...
Correct me if you spot anything.
Well, Erica's obviously going to be able to give us some answers, maybe more questions. At this point, We need more information.
As far as Aisling goes, she's not really seen the connection with Australia here. It seems very pedestrian almost, that there's an Australian connection, because there's nothing that screams connected to this. And it could always be the case that this was just a lecture that Jackson intended to go to because it was about death cults and that was his field, but it also seems odd that he would have information about it in this particular circumstance. So, but as for now, you don't really have any specific clues that very, what's the word, explicitly ties in.
What date was the lecture? Because that hasn't, the flyer itself doesn't have a date on it.
Let's see. I should be able to find that out.
Doesn't mean that Jackson actually attended it. It means it's a flyer.
No, he did. He didn't, I think.
Okay.
Or actually, I'm not certain now. All of a sudden, I'm a little uncertain. I will check this before I say something wrong.
Jackson wasn't in New York very long before, he died, before he put out the call. And I'm assuming that the group would fill Aoife in with things like he changed his will the day before he died, he seemed panicky on the phone when he called earlier that afternoon. Like, the contextual stuff and odds and ends that they have found since.
So did you know that the day before he died,
it seems logical, I think. Especially when you I'm guessing when you mentioned the bloody tongue. Thomas would have said, yeah, we sort of knew that since he was killed by them, it was because of his investigating, and he was pretty afraid, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Maybe not about the will, though, but...
Okay.
He gave us fly miles. At this point, I think we have an idea of where we need to go and why.
Yeah.
Obviously, that might change when we visit Erica.
So, am I getting the train back to Boston, or
I can
do
drive
you
you.
want me to stick around? You don't look like you're in any kind of state to be driving.
I feel fine. You know what? You're correct.
Or are you asking me to stick around and keep on looking at bits of paper for you?
That's not up to me. I am in enough trouble for making decisions. I am not allowed. I have been forbidden. You need to speak to Mom and Dad here. Points at Peggy and Cooper.
Mum and Dad? Excuse me.
Sorry, you're right. You're more like a fun auntie.
Is she the wine aunt?
You know, this is a really strange.
Dynamic.
Okay,
Comparison
you
to make-
look at me as
Okay.
Given that I
But,
came in and found you probably dressed in one of her dressing gowns, that's a very strange comparison to make, Archie.
It's a kimono.
you needed clothes. You didn't look well at all. But you have been absolutely splendid. It's been wonderful listening to you and get some perspective on things. Archie has a lot of judgment sometimes, and he could have mentioned you, but ultimately it was a very good idea. So if you wouldn't mind, we could. Does Archie pay you, or what? What's your deal?
Compensation is negotiated. I'm not that expensive, really.
But you're invaluable, and I don't know if Archie has ever mentioned, I'm a lady detective, and I can delegate or just hire you to continue doing this job. You're absolutely splendid. You really have a good head on your shoulders.
Thank you.
So if you're willing,
I'm not particular. I'll say up front, I'm not interested in getting involved in all the fighting stuff, but I'm going southern.
Leave that to me and Sanders.
Yeah.
Give me notes, give me pieces of paper. It'll be just like when I was back at Dara's police station and noticing all the discrepancies in the police reports.
She was very popular.
I don't think the group would hurt us if you have your little notes and come with some good ideas.
How many rooms did you book on this?
The entire floor.
Well,
But doesn't I'm sorry, don't you have a place to stay? You're welcome here. But I won't pressure you into anything and
second thoughts.
make you live here
That might be
as a common servant, but
bad idea.
What might be a bad idea?
Well, I mean, we have made enemies, and they have a penchant, you might say, for killing people in their hotel rooms.
how are you with guns?
Or knives.
Or any weapon? Self-defense.
Or self-offense. Wait.
Being honest, no. I mean, I can shiv someone in a spot, but I got through the wars by being unobtrusive. No one suspects a woman.
No, they don't.
I do. Always.
You've had some real experience with them.
Yes.
Well, they're fighting women. Sorry. Can't keep serious.
That's allowed. Well, then it's settled then.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, I can certainly find lodgings. I don't know how long I'd be expected to stay, but I'm not going to turn away free food and board.
Well, I have the place booked for a while until we leave, so stay as long as you want, and you can we do have a clue board if you want to get some more notes.
Sure.
If that's something you would like.
I get a kind of joy out of joining notes, so that's good in this circumstance, and I think it's why Archie asked me to come.
You can all roll a spot hidden.
Oh no.
To see if
Including me?
Archie tries to look innocent.
Impossible.
I was gonna say, we can't roll if it's well enough for that. Okay.
Yeah, what's my spot hidden?
No.
No.
I got it.
Yes.
Oh, Koopa.
No.
Koopa.
Cooper and Archie notice that Lisa is looking significantly relieved to be able to just let this go and not having to play private detective and keeping tabs on all of these clues. She's just like, I can go back to making tea and sorting and counting.
Nonsense. You could be her assistant.
She doesn't say that, but that's what her expression says.
I still think Lisa should be Ify's assistant.
She visibly perks up and asks,
Aoife wouldn't.
Anyone? Anyone for more tea or coffee?
Sure.
I'm sorry. Did you?
Lisa's the cult leader, says Michael.
Why would you bother asking me such a silly question? Fill her up!
She's sus. Yes.
I think after this point, though, it's all about moving towards
Yeah.
the party.
You have some goals set, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So-
Yeah, I am effectively someone in the background who can now be called upon if necessary, but I won't be hanging out. Per se.
I mean, do you want your
I would-
character to get
I-
killed?
That is a conversation for you guys to have. But no, I'm fine with the investigators being the investigators and I'm being the one who just kind of sorts through this.
That's very helpful.
Also, just with the timings of things, because this starts at 5 o'clock.
Mm.
If I get an office job, this is going to be an awkward time. So,
Yes. Time zones and all that.
yeah.
But yeah, so you have some points of interest and some persons of interest now. I hope that you as players feel a little bit more on top of things, a little bit more that this feels a little less overwhelming.
And
So,
if you've
question.
got any suggestions on how to, I mean, obviously you guys are allowed to change the board as much as you like, but if there are any things that you'd like me to do differently with how I'm organising clues at the moment, as per the right side of the board, then let me know, and I'll try and make things clearer or whatever.
Will do.
Yay!
I've still got a little bit more to put in, so. Anyway.
Oh gosh, that reminds me. I told Rick earlier that I missed this glorious opportunity to name this stream The Irish Connection. Because,
Oh my god.
I mean,
The worst fun I've heard in a while.
Give it time.
also because it's kind of fourth wall breaking session, and it's going to be St. Paddy's Day on Wednesday. So,
Oh.
oh, the Irish. Still no idea what's going on except death cults and shoes, says Michael. I mean, that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And drama.
And
Yes, Ashley.
all of the backstory that I was putting together with Rick is still to be discovered.
Were you trying to say something, Hulda?
Oh no, just that was the worst pun I've ever heard in my entire life. That was it.
I am very proud. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
You're welcome.
Please don't.
Rick is just like, don't encourage them.
Hashtag dying inside.
The only way to live.
The irony.
Punnage is it's an art, and it is a beautiful thing when you can appreciate it. Yes, please encourage them, says Michael. So,
Yay.
I think we're gonna probably wrap up the session, unless there's some more stuff that you players want to do or play around with as characters. You could, for example, also contact Bradley Gray if you wanted to. I think we have time for that.
What?
There was a conversation that I interrupted.
That is also true.
What I had written down from last time was the advocate. Lawyer, thank you.
Solicitor.
I just read Michael saying Bradley.
No.
All I have to say is yes, Michael, but also no. For the sake of Holder's sanity, no. But yes, you would like to call up Bradley Gray, the lawyer?
Yeah.
Yes. It doesn't take long for him to answer, actually. And you hear the voice of a seemingly quite posh man. He seems to be the type that doesn't have time for nonsense. And he answers the phone saying, Carlisle Estate, Bradley Gray, how may I help you?
Yes, hello, Mr. Gray. Oh no. Sorry.
I'm confused.
Yes, this is Peggy Andrews. I wanted to call about my invitation for the fundraiser.
A moment, Miss Andrews. You can hear the shuffling of some papers. And, yes. Oh, 50. Yes, I did not take that reference. Until now, okay. Yes.
Nobody should. Oh, my brain is just ruined.
I think Rick's more amused that I got the reference.
Amused isn't the correct word.
He has none of the charm or charisma of any such scenario. Yes. Was it? Did you say Miss or was it Mrs.?
I just said Peggy Andrews, but I think
okay,
this is Peggy Andrews.
Yeah, because I think he addressed you as Mrs. in the letter.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yes, Mrs. Andrews. I see that we have sent you an invitation.
Yes.
Is there a problem?
Absolutely not. It's wonderful to get invited, and I have my +1. I just have a few friends that would like to donate some a certain sum of money to the foundation.
To the fundraiser.
Fundraiser, thank you. To show their appreciation.
Is that so? All right. Let's see. And they would like to have an invitation too, then, I gather.
Yes, they are quite. I was going to say well endowed, but that's something else.
Affluent?
Affluent, thank you. Affluent friends of mine, and they would love to join in on this soiree.
Right. May I have their names so that I may do obviously a background check? We have to make sure there are people who try to weasel their way into high society, as you may understand.
Oh yes, of course. We can't have any of that. People pretending to be something they're not. No. Oh, I despise such people. The names are Aisling Burnell and Sergeant Thomas Cooper.
Excellent. I will note it down, and if their background checks out, they can expect to see an invitation shortly.
Oh, absolutely wonderful to hear.
Was there anything
quite-
else I could help you with, Mrs. Andrews?
Just a small question. Will Miss Erica Carlisle be gracing us with her presence at this fundraiser?
Well, yes, of course, it is her fundraiser, and she will
Wonderful.
absolutely be present at it.
Will there be a possibility to talk with her, or is it just to reach out my gratitude? But if not, I would quite understand.
Let's see. Why don't you roll a charm?
Oh, dang it. Okay.
You got this. You're charming, aren't you?
Someone might give you a reroll.
What? One would think she was charming, but my number is pretty low. I have to check why it's low.
Your character sheet
Should
Oh, you
lies.
could do persuasion, actually, if you'd rather use that. Is there
No,
a...
that's actually lower. So, but I thought she was really charming. But apparently she can fast talk. But yeah.
Ah. Well, you can use fast talk.
Where's that one? I hope it's better. Yeah, it's definitely better.
Yeah, roll a fast talk.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
How bad?
An 88 over 55. So
Okay.
no luck point even.
No. Well, if anyone wants to use their channel points to redeem a reward, then here you
Oh,
go, a
there.
reroll.
Thank you. I've been rolling horribly today.
You know, with the lag, you have to consider this. They had already started typing before they saw the roll.
They knew I was.
They knew.
No, it's people.
I inhaled tea.
Sorry,
Oh no.
that is not how you teach.
Thank you so much, Charlie's Dragon, because that's a 2.
It's through.
Oh, wow.
Oh no! Oh no!
Wow. It's a 2.
Yeah,
Right.
it's an actual real 2.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm getting sassed in the chat. Is there a children's table? Yes, it's Archie's. There's the cool
A
kids
British
table.
baptism. Inhaling tea is a British
That's
baptism. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay. With that 2, when you hang up, you have successfully managed to talk him around your little finger and landed yourself at Erica's table
Oh,
for the
Okay.
seating arrangement. So you are now sitting at Erica Carlisle's table for this fundraiser.
yes. Will my +1 sit there as well?
Yes, that's the drawback.
Yes. Thank you for notes.
Yay.
Also, it seems Charlie's Dragon is on point today because
Yeah.
they just read, so Peggy will be invited to sit next to Erica due to the amazing role. Called it!
Absolutely with it.
Yeah. So
Yes,
that went
okay.
well.
That went very well, and it was nice of him to say that they're doing a background check on people. Ooh.
Are you
Oh
saying
boy.
he should have?
So now you'll just have to wait and see if you get another invitation.
Yeah,
She's
it's
saying,
good.
she's saying she knows that of the group, you're the one who's banging around with a flag.
So we'll just put Archie under the umbrella of +1 because we can't get his background checked for the group. That's the only reason why he's +1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Definitely.
A reason?
oh, if his talents maybe in forgery. Nope, can't say that.
Nope.
What's that, Rick?
Well,
Nothing. I'm just saying.
maybe,
I could be.
maybe knows someone.
I may know someone not too far away, closer than you could suspect, who could sort me out with an alternative identitoire. Yes.
Just
Let's
leave his
just-
background unchecked.
I'll leave your background checked, Michael, if that is your real name. God's sake.
No check is big enough to make them overlook that background check. Ah.
He's been found in how many opium joints?
The only way the local police force knew about so many of these joints was because they simply followed him. It was like, Mr. Burnell, we have your file here. Poof!
And you shall know him by the trail of tossed shoes.
I mean, yeah, that's how I find my way back.
So, I feel like we've gotten at least somewhere, even though there's not been very much action per se today. I'm assuming that Aisling probably takes this chance to have maybe a long bath or something else that is not in the same room as her brother.
Oh, most definitely.
Oh, you still here?
Yeah, she's been listening.
Ah, damn it.
I imagine that I might get interrogated at some point by someone.
You will.
You know what I find me.
One by every day by another person in the group.
It's like in was it Avatar: Last Airbender? I also want a life-changing trip with Zuko. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
The one who says that it has a really boring trip. Also, Aisling might want to have another go at that cryptex, just so. Because it's one a day.
Am I Cabbage Man? From the Airbender reference.
You might be King Boomy.
Yay. Roll credits.
But yeah, you made roll for the puzzle.
Before they split and go to its room or whatever, Cooper's gonna just lean over to Archie and whisper, Archie, do you remember when I asked you about Shanghai and Jackson?
No.
No.
Why?
Because I have a similar problem. I may have forgotten where in your room I may have put a bomb.
But, I mean...
And he's just gonna lean back and pretend like nothing happened.
Wait,
A failed, not so failed. Right.
what? No, Cooper?
Hmm?
Which bedroom?
I don't know.
Because
I don't remember.
I sleep in a lot of them.
In a lot of that.
Change his room every night?
It keeps Lisa on her toes.
He does not.
Yeah, you've been having a very interesting time here.
Can you hear ticking? I swear I can hear ticking. For God's sake.
Can't you gelignite tick?
You know what? I think Cooper probably hid like small clocks in several rooms.
He is gonna do now.
It's like an Easter egg hunt, but anxiety ridden.
Anxiety egg hunt.
Yeah, there's less chocolate, more like
More
arrhythmia.
anxiety.
Yes. More Shanghai shenanigans. Mysterious.
First thing Cooper's gonna do is found one of those shady guys with hey, you wanna buy a watch? Just buy all the watches.
Oh god. He's gonna go home to his
this-
family. I sold everything.
This is a real Patek Philippe.
What?
Well, I'll just
No.
say thank you guys. It's been really fun getting to join in, and I mean, if you know where to find me if you need me. Otherwise, I'll just keep on trying to analyze the board and update it as I can.
Rick, did you and Peggy, Ivy want to do a Archie and Peggy scene, or are you good?
We did it at the start.
Yeah.
You were there.
Okay, so no. So Archie's gone bomb hunting.
I mean,
Fair
after
enough.
that, it's not like he's going to say, there could be an explosive in one of my sleeping spaces, but I want to go talk to Peggy and then maybe get some sexual tension going. That sounds like a plan. Excuse me. God, priorities, though. Thanks, Cooper. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
I'm going to turn up with a bucket full of watches with, like, tears down his face. He hasn't slept for days. It's like, did I get them all? I don't know what a bomb looks like.
I mean, he probably actually does know what a bomb looks like.
But can you be sure? I mean, just in case. Like,
But in any case, since Archie has gone through the letters, he gets them.
Yeah.
So Peggy doesn't need to hide them anymore.
nope. Should we publish them to the public? Huh?
Not public, but we can give it to the keeper, so they actually know what's going on.
Yes. Put them up on the clue board. No? Yes?
That depends on Ivy.
Yeah, Ivy.
No, I think
Back to Ivy.
Peggy deserves her secrets.
Yes.
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 Michael, the bomb does
All
not
in
add
due
spice.
time.
Oh, God's sake.
Just a little bit of spice.
So, my darling, we are going to make it in love in one of these rooms. But one of them is going to explode.
And not in the fun kind.
But not with passion. More like with flechette.
Bruschetta?
Shrapnels. Flechette. Huh. Thank you very much, Rosemary.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for inviting me to join.
This has been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun at least. And like I said, it feels like you've got a little bit of a firmer grip on what's going on now. And so, with no further ado, I think we're gonna say that wraps this session up. So thank you all so much for watching, and thank you so much, Rosemary, for popping by and helping us out with all of this mess that Jackson left behind.
A pleasure, and like I said, you know where to find me.
So, thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and we will be back in 2 weeks' time
Beach episode.
with a new episode of Dangerous Cults and Where to
And a
Find
ball.
Them. In the meantime, I hope you have a lovely evening, and again, if you want to join the Discord, here is the link. On Wednesday, we will be having a Discord community game of Among Us, so feel free to join that too. And in the meantime, why can I hear ticking? Have a lovely evening. Take care. See you soon, and answer the call in 2 weeks. Bye!
Roll credits.